I've been an online reseller for the past 14 years, and something happened in this past week that has never happened in my entire online reselling career, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen again. I don't want to talk about that story, but also I want to talk about this. This maybe could be a lucrative business opportunity that we should all be looking out for, or perhaps it's just a really bad business idea and I've made a dumb mistake. And I suppose both could be true at the same time, but I want to talk about that and more, so let's do it. Well, hey there, folks, and welcome back to the utter depths of all of YouTube, where you're talking about hopefully what's interesting tidbits of information to share with you guys. And we're also going to be hitting up a thrift store to dominate those thrift store shelves. And I appreciate you guys being here. And here we are at Rusty Trusty, one of my favorite thrift stores, Second Life. And this horse has lipstick on. I don't know if it's a good sign or it's an omen, but I think it's a good sign because I've never seen a horse wear lipstick before, so I think that's a good sign. We're headed straight back to the board games. Been to the channel, you know I love selling board games, used and new on Amazon and sometimes on eBay. Right away, I find this Nintendo version of Monopoly. I thought it was going to be a lot more money than it was. Game is in great condition. It only sells for about $22 used on Amazon. And with a purchase price of $10, which is actually really steep. I was expecting maybe $5, which I would have purchased, but I'm not going to buy this and only make $1 or $2, so I put that back on the shelf. Then I also find right below this Quelf. I've made an entire video on this game alone, as I've made like $6,000 or $7,000 on this particular board game, and it sells for a decent clip right now, but it's really damaged in bad condition. And I ended up checking it out, and the game pieces were not all in there, so I put that back. Unfortunately, Battleship, I always check out any Battleship, different years and with different artwork. Always check because some have different values. This one did not have much value at all, so I put this back. But keep an eye out for different Battleships as they have different values. Same with Stratego. Boy, that guy's angry. That other guy's just kind of chill. Only $4 for this. I don't know if that guy's yelling because he feels undervalued, but I'm going to buy it because it sells for about 29 bucks. And after that $4 purchase price, I'm going to be making $11, $12, $13, $14. Game box is a little beat up, but no biggie. I can clear that up. So fun story time. A little bit of a mystery, and maybe you can help me out with this. Last week at my business return address, I got a standard flat white envelope. Just a regular plain mailing envelope, which is strange because this particular address I only use for business returns from eBay, and mostly eBay and a little bit of Mercari. So anything that shows up there is usually a box or a poly bag, some package of some sort, but never regular looking mail. So I was already perplexed, a little bit odd, and I initially thought that this was I honestly thought it was a scam. And I guess it's kind of a sad state of affairs if you're initially thinking, your instincts tell you it's a scam. But as a reseller, if you're a reseller, honestly, you know, if you've done any kind of time in the system of reselling, you've been scammed, unfortunately, probably more than once. So I thought this particular scam was in the form of when somebody purchases something and then they either keep the item and send back like an empty box, or they just return an envelope just so they have proof, that they can upload proof to the USPS or on eBay, just to show that they returned a package and they can get their money back. And that's unfortunately, that's the scam that does happen every so often. But that's what I figured, especially because this was coming from Alaska. So it's coming from really far way away. So when I opened up the envelope, I did not expect to see this. And this is the thing. This has never happened to me where I got cash in the mail. And this wasn't for a sale. This is all I got. This wasn't for somebody that was like trying to buy something from me actively. All it says is, "Thanks, Joe Z," with a $10 bill attached to it. So I went on to try and find who Joe Z was. I looked for somebody under Joe Z in my recent orders on eBay, and also with anything of an Alaska shipping address. And I just couldn't find anything. I don't necessarily know how this happened, but it was addressed to my eBay store name. So I know this was not a mistake of sending it to like the wrong seller or anything. My assumptions are that this person, maybe I did, upgraded their shipping. Maybe they needed it. I was thinking maybe before Christmas, someone asked for like an upgraded shipping option to make sure it could get to them in time, and I just covered it without, trying to ask for more money or something. Or maybe I gave them a really solid deal. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I got $10 in the mail from a Joe Z. And thanks to Josie for it made me feel nice. Like it gave me some hope of people in the world, the shoppers on eBay. So just thought it was pretty cool. Has that ever happened to anybody out there? I don't think I'll ever see something like again, but it does remind me, my friend, he's been on eBay since the inception of eBay. And I think it was like back in the late 90s. And he said when he used to be a seller, he would actually have to wait for personal checks to clear. So he'd get a check in the mail, he'd have to take it to the bank, wait for it to clear, and then he would send the item out. Or some people would just send cash in the mail, and he'd wait and send the package out. And that just seems like, I mean, that requires a whole level of trust that I just don't think this world is capable of having anymore for online selling. There would be, online wouldn't exist if that was still the system. Online reselling wouldn't exist if we still had to wait for checks to clear with all the fraudulent and scams and everything, and then people sending cash. Like, it's just a funny story when he told me that that's how eBay used to be. I found this controller at first. I thought it was just like a, not necessarily a knockoff, but not a Xbox controller, but it was actually an Xbox, made by Xbox controller. Definitely wanted to check the battery compartment. Hard to do one-handed here, but there's a little bit of crusty, no good, no stuff that was easy to clean out. But the battery compartment there, that was super clean, so that was good news. And that's when I happened to notice that this had Halo 4. This was a limited edition controller, so I didn't even recognize that when I first picked it up, where it sells for around $45. So that was a great score, only asking $4 at the thrift store. So fun little find. Office section, I'm just looking for calculators and ink cartridges and some other random things that might be interesting to look up. And those Texas Instruments, depending on the model, can certainly be worth some money. I did find this Canon ink, and it was unopened. The box was beat up a little bit. They're only asking, I think it says like $4 or $5 on there, and you can see that it sells for about $30. Oh, they're only asking $3 for this, so this is a great find. Then over in the media section here, I find some sealed cassette tapes and some videotapes here, and they're only asking 50 cents. Not a lot of value in these things, however. For these 4 tapes, I can get between 15 and $20. I'm only paying $2 for the stack. And then these cassette tapes. Here's a little secret. I've talked about this in the past, but definitely want to highlight it again. So I knew in here, all these tapes look the same to the common eye, and definitely with thrift stores and garage sales, oftentimes they don't know the difference between different kinds of cassettes. But you can see here, these 3, plus there's actually 2 more in that box where it says type 2, and they are high position, type 2, high position, high bias tapes. So those are actually worth significantly more than the regular cassettes that you see out there. These were worth about $5 to $6 a piece. And this is like, for example, a regular cassette where it says type 1 regular bias tapes. So they all look the same, and it's very easy to miss. You see that other blue one there under my fingers, which is also high bias. But I buy all of these because I also, once I get like 100 or so regular cassette tapes, I will lot them up and sell them. And there's some real value in cassette tapes. So keep an eye out for them. Just don't pay more than like 50 cents is kind of my personal max. Then I find this Kodak, and some of these, the older vintage projectors are worth some real cash. This one's like $200 or so if it was in good working condition. I took it out, plugged it in. Unfortunately, the bulb didn't work. I could go through and buy a bulb and replace it, or I could sell it for parts only. Not really worth it. They were asking $8. So I left that behind because I didn't want to deal with it. And I find this refrigerator filter, and it was brand new inside the box. I did open it up to make sure, and it sells for roughly $25-ish. And I picked it up, I think it was like $3 or $4. These were interesting. I didn't know what these were, but they were actually really pretty, and really, high quality little ceramics. And it said plant on the bottom, so I thought, maybe these are for herbs or something. And these were 20% off, so they're only 80 cents each, and there was like 16 to 20 of these things. So I really was a little stressed out. I didn't know if I wanted to try selling these. I figured because it was glass and there wasn't a ton of profit, I just didn't want to deal with it. So I left them behind, but certainly profitable if somebody else wants to deal with it. And then I find this car thingamabob. I'm not a car guy, so this was only a few bucks, and it sells for like 20 to 25 bucks. So I did pick this up. So I wanted to share this, and there's a story behind this. I got this recently. I actually forgot. This has been gone so long, and you're probably gonna be like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen on YouTube. And I wouldn't disagree with you. However, I want to talk about this because I just got this back. It's a graded VHS of Dumb and Dumber, and I want to talk about it in a minute. So VHS, as we all know, some of them have some money. In particular, ones that come to mind would be some horror VHS, even if they're used. You can lot them up, or some individual ones, if you find the right ones, can have some real value. And that most VHS don't have a lot of value. However, when you find the right titles, then they certainly can. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I don't know, it's like a year or two ago that on Commonwealth Picker's channel, he got into grading VHS, and I became curious about it. It's not something I'm personally interested in collecting, but I noticed, I go to Comic Cons and different kind of, nerd cons and such, and I started to see different graded VHS pop up on the shelves there. So I thought maybe there is a little bit of a market to it. And when I look on eBay, if you look up graded VHS, you can see that there's over 25,000 current active listings for graded VHS, which is insane. And if you look at filter to just see how many have sold over the past 90 days, it's just over 600. So the sell-through rate on this particular category of graded VHS, obviously there's not a ton of market demand for these things. However, we also don't know the full context of those 25,000 that are graded. For a while, a couple years back, when collectibles and everything was going sky high, that seems to be when this graded VHS market kind of hit, and different collectors started looking for this stuff. So I think a lot of people just got, pretty excited seeing that there was potential, that they just started grading everything without really giving some thought or logic of why certain VHSs may have value and some don't. And obviously I'm a complete beginner with this stuff. I have no idea or any kind of checklist to know what to look for in these VHS, whether to know something is worth buying and getting graded. I just used eBay just like anything else. I just checked out eBay and looked for comps, sold comps. And at the time, I think there was one that sold for like 125 or 150 or something like that. So I figured for $1 or $1.50 that I'd just try this experience of buying this, sending it in to get graded. I used CGC as the company to get graded. And just like sports cards or Pokemon cards, you can do video games now. You can get a lot of different collectibles graded. And typically what happens when you get these things graded, the higher the score, the more value it tends to have. So this was on the shelf. It was sealed. It was $1. I had just seen a Commonwealth Picker video where he was talking about some graded VHS that he just got back. So I was like, for $1, this is like somewhat of a cult favorite movie. This came out back in the 90s when I was just a teenager. And it was really loved then, and it seems to still be really loved now. So even though market demand overall in graded VHS seems to be pretty low, if you find the right VHS, I'm going to show you a few examples here. It seems like you can make some real cash, like enough to cover your monthly mortgage. Even thrift stores themselves overlook VHS because some don't even offer or have any in their stores. But on the occasion that you go out into the wilds and find VHS, I think it's important just to kind of scan the titles. It takes less than a minute just to look for brand new sealed VHS, among others. There are definitely some YouTube channels, and there's a lot to learn with VHS, as some, even if they're not sealed or graded, that can still have some good value. But this costs $60 to get graded, which to me is that's insane. And that's where a lot of the risk was as well. I did not anticipate it cost $60 to do that. So all in, I'm in like, $65 or whatever, $68, whatever the total was. So if this were to come back and had a subpar grade, or it just came back, and even if the value, because there are VHS that even with a good grade, they don't sell for $60. So I really didn't know. I had one comp that I was going by that somebody had purchased this for $125 or $150. And now that I'm spending $65 to $70 on this thing, I really wanted it to be worth, I mean, if it was only worth $100, then I still might make a few bucks, but it's not worth the $60 or the time or effort to go through just to make, 15 to 20 bucks. So if you look right now, I did find one comp, $130 plus $20 shipping, so $150 all in. If I could manage to get that $150, then loosely I'll make, double my money So it's not an awful experiment overall. I do see that there are some folks that are asking a little bit higher. I think someone's asking for $300 on something like this. My grade is decent. The 9.6 is relatively high in comparison to some of the other grades. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on this whole VHS thing. Do you buy and sell VHS? Would you ever consider getting one graded, especially if you know that it's 60 bucks to do it? So if you're going to do that, obviously you don't want to send this in and get graded and then it still only be worth 50 bucks. So there's obviously some inherent risk in doing this stuff. But let me know your thoughts on this VHS grading situation. If you think there's going to be a collector market or not, let me know if it's something you would do or if you would rather fall into like a porta potty toilet. I mean, this very well could turn into Dumb, Dumber, and Dumbest. It's very possible.